So as we rapidly approach the end of the session, lawmakers are picking up the pace. We sat down with the Democratic leaders in both houses to discuss. I spoke with Assembly Speaker Jason Frierson about the rush just to get everything done. We're ticking down now to the final 2 weeks, essentially. How will the money bills and getting into that play out from here on out? What's the timeline going to look like?
Well, we'll likely close, at least start the process of closing budgets on Saturday. We don't get weekends off now at this point, so we'll close the budgets in time for us to continue having policy discussions. But we have a constitutional mandate to fund education first, and that requires that we coordinate how we close budgets and that we get it done in time enough for staff to write it all out to get it moved. So the plan is to close on those budgets by Saturday, so we can provide staff with enough time to process.
Well, speaking of funding education, first we sat down with the school district, and I know that they had wanted some changes to the weighted funding formula in the wake of 469 passing. But on their point, it would be about $630 million, which does not seem realistic. How realistic is that, and is there room for some changes that they would want?
Well, there's room for some changes. You know, the weighted funding formula is a big lift, and we can at the very least start that process, and we're not going to get it to where we necessarily think is an end product, but we can start the process of putting money where the kids need them the most, concentrate on the kids with the greatest need, and move forward. And I do think we have room to at least start that process.
And this is a formula that has shifted as it started to work its way through the process. From the best that you've seen, where is it now? What kind of changes have happened, and do you expect anything to change coming through the Assembly? I believe the Senate's looking at it right now.
Well, I mean, again, as far as the weighted funding formula itself, it's all going to be part of the end game, the end product for the budget and the end game. So we're going to continue to work and look at numbers to see where we can, again, use the resources that we have in the best way we can.
Governor Sandoval came and met with you within the past couple of weeks to try to talk about getting to the end game.
Right.
That being said, it was described as a fairly cordial meeting. Everything was good. Do you anticipate any stumbling blocks coming into the final few days of the session? Do you see any roadblocks maybe where that disagreement's going to happen and just certain bills may not pass?
Yes. I mean, in the short, yes. That's this process. We have 2 weeks to work out some significant philosophical differences. We have started those conversations, and there'll be some stumbling blocks and some disagreements, and I think we're charged with getting it done. So we'll keep working and seeing where we can find common ground.
Of course, ESAs would be one of the big ones that comes to mind. Do you get the sense that if perhaps that doesn't pass, is that a bill, or are there bills like that that would qualify perhaps that there would be a special session to tag on to try to wrap that issue up, so to speak? Do you think the governor would go to that? Well,
special sessions are curse word right now. We're working towards trying to get our jobs done. We don't want to talk about special sessions. Our hope is that that's not an issue and that we'll find some compromise in a way that we all can live with as progress towards what we think is moving Nevada forward. So the hope is to not have to have a special session be even on the table.
Well, you can see the full interview, including a discussion about Attorney General Adam Laxalt's hearing in front of the Assembly Ways and Means Committee on our website, LasVegasNow.com.